Now here's your host of the Battery Systems All Things Energy Storage Show, Josh Brum.
Me? Yes, you. It's me. Josh Brum here, Battery Systems All Things Energy Storage Program. Thanks for having us back again. Welcome to the only show on the radio that discusses batteries 24/7. That's right. That's all we focus on is energy storage. You're going to learn a ton today. So excited to have this learning opportunity to join you today with our wonderful experts on the program. The show's going to be great. Fantastic program every Saturday, all about energy storage. It's the Battery Systems All Things Energy Storage Program, Saturdays from 11 to noon on Power Talk, 96.7 AM 1400, the Valley's Talk headquarters. Also as well, you can tune in to the Battery Systems Inc., that's INC, Battery Systems Inc. YouTube channel and catch all of the past episodes of the Battery Systems All Things Energy Storage Show right there. Looking forward to a wonderful program today, learning tons. That's right. We've got some great guests on the program, experts here to teach us all about energy storage. So excited. Catherine von Burg, the CEO and president from SimpliPhi Power. SimpliPhi Power, they have come up with an amazing battery, a super safe lithium technology, also scalable, the ability to go up to 880 of these things in parallel, the massive size of some of the systems that are out there, all the way down to a really small system. There's even some folks in our company who have been offering solutions from SimpliPhi for small cabin systems and whatnot for off-grid. So unlike a lot of the one-size-fits-all systems that you see out there, they're using cobalt manganese. It's a different chemistry. Lithium ferrous phosphate. This is a safe lithium chemistry. It's phenomenal. You can scale it the way that you want it. 3.5 kilowatt-hour increments. It's a phenomenal battery. On top of that, through SimpliPhi and Battery Systems, we have the ability to get you what's called an access system from SimpliPhi. That includes the inverter charger system. A lot of folks call up and they say, hey, I want a battery. Well, it's more than just a battery. You don't just plug a battery into the house. You've got to have an inverter charger system. You have to have all of the different componentry to be able to make it work. And they have systems already built, ready to go, DC coupled, I believe AC coupled as well, with Schneider and Outback available through Access Systems. They're beautiful cabinets. They've got some phenomenal products and phenomenal solutions to help our planet, as well as to help you, the customer, to meet your energy storage needs. So excited to talk with Catherine today on the program. Without further ado, President and CEO of SimpliPhi Power, Catherine von Burg. Thanks for joining us on the Battery Systems All Things Energy Storage Show, Catherine. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm so pleased to be here. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. So obviously, I gave our listeners, and we've been talking to customers about SimpliPhi throughout Battery Systems for quite a while now. But, from the head cheese, if you will, and I know that you're a very humble person, but you set a tone. You mentioned off the line, you set a tone for what SimpliPhi is all about. Your mission statement, what you're all about. It's not just about moving boxes of energy storage. I mean, there's so much more to SimpliPhi, as well as solving all of the energy storage needs that we might have and providing solutions for folks. Tell our listeners about SimpliPhi.
Yes, thank you. I think one of the elements that differentiates our company is that we founded in 2010 and were really one of the first, if not the first, to really be looking at the role storage could play in energy markets. And this idea of being able to scale from small portable mobile systems for what are now being used for emergency response and disaster preparedness, but being able to scale those portable systems up to smaller 1.3, 2.7, 3.5 kilowatt hours, small building blocks that allowed people to size battery banks that met their power and energy requirements. That didn't necessarily meet what we were manufacturing that was the easiest from the manufacturing side, but really looking at the market and seeing globally that the idea of scalability, the fact that we also were the first to think about the toxicity and hazards of your traditional lithium cobalt batteries, the NMC, NCA, and consciously choosing to use a newer innovation in chemistry, the lithium iron phosphate or ferrophosphate, that eliminates cobalt, which is behind the fires and thermal runaway, not lithium. Cobalt is toxic. So with that, thinking about the chemistry, even though it was a more expensive chemistry at the time, that turned into an opportunity as it challenged the company to come up with solutions back in 2010, 11, 12 that nobody had available in the market. So working with the Department of Defense on forward operating bases in Afghanistan, eliminating failure, eliminating the risk of fire and explosions in critical operations. We've always been very focused on what people need. We're all about empowering people and communities around the world to have access to power on their terms, create security, and that cannot mean storing energy in toxic batteries that put the end user at risk. So having access to power that created security and resilience. And really that's what we're about and have been executing on up until today in 2019, I believe.
And whether you're...
Time flies.
Oh, and see, this is an established company. Listeners, again, I want to definitely just let you know how proud we are to have Catherine von Burg, CEO and president of SimpliPhi Power Lithium iron phosphate batteries, on the program today. And what she's talking about is a battery that you need to get for your solar system. We're in a scenario. Bernadette Del Chiaro, she's the CEO of CALSA, California Association of Solar and Storage, was on the program a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how it's so difficult with these utilities. You know, they've gone out and everyone's got to have solar, and now all of a sudden they're in a scenario where they've got a giant bill because rates are changing in the evenings and, you know, from 5 to 9. And so now folks after the fact are coming to us and they say, we want a battery solution so that we can go ahead and take advantage of that. And Bernadette from CALSA said that they're really trying to codify it in law up there in Sacramento so that folks can take their energy storage in their own hands and be independent and not have to be so dependent on what the utility thinks or not. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, absolutely. In California, currently, time of use rates, depending on which utility, are climbing. And so what that means, as you say, people who have power, solar generation power on their roof, they very often have a rude awakening when there is a power outage, because without batteries on site, the PV generation is going directly to the grid. So batteries play a critical role for customers to take control of their own power generation, store it, and use it when they need it. So to your point, time of use rates, when people come home in the evening after work, all that lovely solar generation during the day has gone into the grid. Batteries allow you to store when generation is highest and then use that energy from our batteries when you need it, not when the utility or the sun is up or any other factor that feeds into available energy. So batteries really decouple generation from time of use, which has huge economic benefit to customers. In addition to pairing batteries with either existing, so AC coupling or other types of systems in your home, business, hospitals, schools, it's also imperative in California, for example, because of the fires, utilities are now turning off the lights. They are shutting down different sections on the transmission grid during times of high wind because of drought areas in California and what has happened from the Thomas Fire that we experienced as a company in Ojai to the Santa Clara. So if homeowners are looking at planned outages by the utility to safeguard the public interest because of high winds and the risk of lines going down during drought, people then have batteries on site to provide backup power for those hours or days that the utility has had to turn off the grid. So that's a reality in California, but backup power generally, whether it's a planned utility outage or some other catastrophic event, grid-tied systems with batteries allow homeowners to achieve that resilience and independence with regard to their energy.
Now, I mentioned earlier, it's a common misconception that you can just plug a battery in and you're off to the races. You've got to have the integration there. You've got to have an inverter charger. You've got to, like she mentioned, AC couple, DC couple. DC couple's what you're going to do up front when it's a brand new system, and you're going to have the PV array go right to the charge controller, to the battery, and then to the loads, and then to the inverter, and then to the loads and to the grid, and it plays as one big system. That's the most efficient way to go up front if you don't already have solar. But for the scenario where you already have solar, and now you want to add energy storage so you can have backup and also accomplish the goals of mitigating some of the, relieving some of the damage caused to your pocketbooks by time of use, and some of the new prices coming down the hike from the utility. It is coming. And so now you want to have that energy storage. You've got to have a complete total system. It's not just plugging a battery right in. You've got to have the integration. You've got to have the hybrid inverter charger that can AC couple at that point. Otherwise, it's an expensive retrofit to then DC couple a pre-existing system. And so most folks who don't go down that path, although it's the most efficient and that's the best way to do it, oftentimes the cost is prohibitive. And so what folks are doing instead is they're AC coupling after the fact. Well, you've got to have a hybrid inverter charger system to be able to accomplish that and properly program it as such. So, for example, you could feed, tracking back your critical loads to a sub panel or a critical loads panel. You could feed those critical loads during the time of use areas or times, say 5 to 9 p.m. every night is when you're getting dinged with your time of use. That's when you would feed those loads, not your entire panel. It's not your whole house, but it will back up and feed those loads that are on that critical loads panel that your certified installer has installed. And you got to have those additional components to be able to make it work. One of the blessings about working with SimpliPhi is that they're not just selling the battery. Please tell our listeners a little bit about the Access Plus systems and how, by the way, listeners, you can get this through Battery Systems. Email me directly, solar@batterysystems.net. That's solar@batterysystems.net. But yeah, please, if you wouldn't mind, Catherine, let our listeners know about if they do have existing solar already and they don't want to go through the cost prohibitive nature of DC coupling and a retrofit. AC coupling's the way to go. And your Access Plus systems, those are really on standby to be able to make that happen along with your SimpliPhi power batteries, right?
Absolutely. And your point is very important, that it is really significant if you're looking at leveraging the energy storage and your solar generation, or even without solar generation. But if you're looking to leverage your generation when you need it, when it has the most impact on your economics, and you're looking at your storage and when you can use that for the greatest impact in lowering your bills, you have to have all the equipment that goes into an integrated system. What we realized several years ago is that many installers were looking for solutions that was literally a plug and play. And so our access units indeed come with 3 or 4 of the 3.5 kilowatt hour batteries. It can scale to a whole nother cabinet for an additional 12 of the 3.5 kilowatt hour batteries. But the hardware, the software, the charge controller, inverter, all of that is critical. And we have a portfolio of solutions that scale up from, as you point out, just the batteries, but also to plug-and-play solutions so that we can meet the different needs in the market, whether it's AC coupling, DC coupling, whether it's on-grid or off-grid, and even plug-and-play units that are represented in our Express unit, which is a smaller NEMA 3 outdoor-rated cabinet, just like the Access, so homeowners can install these units outside and not take up precious space in their homes or garages. But the Express is on wheels, and this came about because of the necessity in a hospital or a school of being able to move the power room to room for those critical loads, as you say, that are typically hardwired through a sub-panel The Express allows you to take your power storage where you need it, even roll it outside to plug into solar generation or to use in classrooms. For instance, a school in Mississippi has about 12 of the Express units, and it provides backup power, but also for additional loads for special operations in classrooms where electronic equipment or different types of power equipment in shops are being used. So the software is critical too. We also have systems where software is not necessarily a part of it because, as we've seen in territories like Puerto Rico and others, sometimes software and that connectivity, when every system is breaking down, the centralized grid, but also connectivity through modems and online access, sometimes the software can be a barrier. Mm-hmm. So these different types of plug-and-play solutions, we can build in different assets and feature sets to meet the customer's needs.
Now, I want to get clarification for our listeners and our customers that are tuned in right now. And I know that you are staring at your radio going, oh my gosh, tell me more, Josh. Absolutely. We're talking a wonderful lady on the program today, a great discussion with the president and CEO of SimpliPhi Power Batteries, Catherine Von Burg. Catherine, if we could get a little bit of clarification on plug and play. Plug and play gives folks the indication that they literally can take a plug and go up to an outlet. We're not talking that much plug and play, right? We're talking like if you've got a certified installer, it's something that they can basically install very quickly and easily. Is that what we're talking about? Or is the Express unit something that you actually just plug right into the wall?
The Express unit that is on wheels, again, is truly plug and play because you're not looking to hardwire it through a sub-panel or through your primary panel in the home. It is truly plug and play, and it has an AGS built in. So for homeowners or schools, hospitals that have generators and want to optimize their fuel usage during an emergency, they can plug in their generator into the Express. If they have solar, they can literally plug the solar generation into the Express unit. And that's the advantage of that unit. If you're being evacuated, whether you're a business or a homeowner or a hospital or clinic somewhere, you can actually roll the Express onto a truck and take your power with you.
Where does the Express plug into? Where does it plug into? What does it feed? If it's not feeding the main panel or critical loads panel, it's not being hardwired in. I want to clarify again. This is an actual like 110 plug that's going right into a 110 outlet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So you can charge it from the grid if you have grid power, but you can also charge it with your generator or solar panels.
Wow. How many kilowatt hours of total storage are in the Express unit?
So there are two models. One is a 24-volt model, and that comes with two of the 2.7 kilowatt-hour batteries. So for a total of 5.2 kilowatt hours. Okay. And then the 48-volt Express, same size cabinet. Again, both NEMA 3R rated, so they can be used or left outside and rolled inside. The 48-volt comes with two of the 3.5 kilowatt-hour batteries, and so a total of 7 kilowatt-hours for the 48-volt.
See, and that would be perfect. If we're selling a plug-in-the-wall solar solution where we're able to give customers 5 solar panels, and they plug it right into an outdoor outlet, regular 110 outlet. It backfeeds a dedicated circuit, no less than a 15-amp breaker. It backfeeds all of the loads on the 120 side or just that one leg. And it offsets the customer's electric bill by about 8 to 10 kilowatt hours per day, which is great savings. So it truly is like your Express unit plug and play. We've been looking for a solution to offer our customers that truly is plug and play. And the 48-volt unit would give folks the ability to offset their electric bill, for 4 or 5 hours every evening by 6 or 7 kilowatt hours. And that could be an amazing thing. So we definitely want to speak with you more on that as we get off the air here in the future, so that we can offer that to our customers if it truly is plug and play, like our solar system would be. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to keep you around after the break just a moment. Have a question real quick as well on the Express unit about what turns off the grid, for example, or what turns off the power once the grid goes down. Is there some sort of automatic transfer switch that needs to be installed or something like that as well? So if you don't mind, I want to have you around for just a little bit longer after we get back from the break. Is that okay, Catherine?
Of course.
Awesome. Catherine Von Burg, CEO and president of SimpliPhi Power, on the line. Coming up in just a moment, also, we've got Carl Sheffers from Optima Battery. Thanks for joining us on the All Things Energy Storage Show.
It's morning in America. Time for patriotism again. Made in the good old USA. U.S. Battery is a family-owned company with over 92 years of serving the world. Why is U.S. Battery the best? Starting right here, made by local folks in California, U.S. batteries are made with premium materials, chemistry, and know-how. U.S. batteries are top supporters of single-point watering systems, extending the life of your deep-cycle batteries. Be patriotic. Find your nearest U.S. battery dealer at batterysystems.net or buy U.S. batteries online now at battsys.com.
Odyssey batteries, designed with twice the power and 3 times the life of conventional batteries. Dual-purpose capability allows you to use your Odyssey batteries for deep cycling and starting your application in extreme conditions. Long life AGM deep cycle and starting battery all in one. Get a faster recharge, more life cycles, extreme vibration resistance, and flexible mounting options. Battery Systems has your solution. Find Odyssey battery dealers at batterysystems.net or buy Odyssey batteries online now at battsys.com.
Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. Chargers, batteries, and accessories. Optima Battery now offers the new PowerFlow H6 design for many new model vehicles. Using thin plate pure lead, Optima has high power delivery and extreme protection to the most common causes of battery failure. Also, Optima's spiral cell technology will deliver twice the life versus conventional batteries. Find your nearest Optima Battery dealer at batterysystems.net or buy Optima Batteries online now at battsys.com.
Welcome back. Battery Systems, All Things Energy Storage program. I had to keep her around after the break. Ask her this question. Welcome back again. Catherine Von Burg from SimpliPhi Power, President and CEO of SimpliPhi Power, joining us today. Phenomenal conversation, learning so much as we do each and every single week. By the way, I want to thank our sponsors on the program, Optima Battery, US Battery, and Odyssey Battery, also as well Plug in the Wall Solar. So you were mentioning to our listeners about the Express units, and that is just amazing. It truly is just like a 110 plug, and you plug it right into the wall?
Yes.
That's amazing. So curious, how do we keep, when the grid goes down, how do we keep it from energizing the circuits without having it go back out on the grid? Is there some sort of an automatic transfer switch that needs to be installed, or does it know to only energize those circuits, or how does that work?
Well, the Express can be used as a UPS, so it can be kept plugged into the wall, and your critical equipment. So, for example, in the schools that I mentioned or in clinics, they will keep critical blood gas machines or other diagnostic equipment plugged into the Express. So when the grid goes down, there's no interruption. The batteries have been charging from the grid prior to it going out. And it even kind of cleans up fluctuations because of brownouts or other grid events that can challenge and damage sensitive medical or research equipment. So the advantage there is it can remain plugged into the wall, again, as a UPS.
Ah, I see. So it's not discharging energy back feeding through that breaker and then feeding the loads on the panel that way. It's it's staying fully charged, and it has plugs on it, and then you could plug in whatever you need to right there. That's still amazing backup power. That's phenomenal. And you can go up to 7 kilowatt hours. That's amazing. And it's mobile. It's the express unit from SimpliPhi Power. If you want to order or find out more, give me a call today at 909-5094. Plug and play lithium iron phosphate, safe lithium iron phosphate solutions for your backup power, but also as well grid tie with battery backup, off grid. Real quick before we go, I know that a lot of the one-size-fits-all systems that we see available at all these different solar shows, you see advertised out on the news, and everybody's thinking like, holy smokes, we'll have one-size-fits-all. But realistically, there really is no one-size-fits-all because everybody's energy consumption is different, just like our DNA. It's unique. It really is. A 2,000 square foot home doesn't tell us anything except for how to size your carpet because your energy usage is different from someone else down the street. And so it's very important and vital that everything is customized. I know you have these setups to where, you have them in increments, like your access systems with multiple different cabinets so you can scale it, but it's scalable so that you can get to the exact amount of storage that you absolutely need, not more, not less. A lot of these one-size-fits-all systems, they're promising the moon, but in all reality, by promising the moon, you might be cycling that battery 10 times a day, to accomplish your goals, and you're not getting the life expectancy that they promise. With SimpliPhi Power and Battery System Solar Division, reach out to us at solar@batterysystems.net. We can dig down into the details of your actual energy usage numbers that are unique to you so that you have the ability to actually solve your problem and know that you're getting the system that's right for you. Isn't that right, Catherine?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And it's really important also to know, because our batteries are so stable over time in terms of their capacity and voltage, that you can add batteries to your existing SimpliPhi system a year, 2 years, even as much as 3 years later. And the advantage there is that homeowners that are looking to invest in a small system to have some power, because if you have batteries and the inverter charge controllers, again, whether it's a retrofit, AC coupled or DC, if you have even a small battery bank, the software and the inverter charge controllers disconnect from the grid, and you now have power on your terms. And if you want to start small and then your family grows, or your electrical loads, what you consider critical during power outages, or the critical loads that you need to reduce time of use charges every day, you can add SimpliPhi batteries to the existing bank. So that's with the 10,000 cycle warranty, the 98% efficiency rate, and of course all those performance metrics go into your bottom line and the ROI. How soon are you going to realize the benefits of that initial investment? And so the more robust the battery, and that's our focus, is offering very robust batteries with broad temperature range and do not require ventilation or cooling to safeguard against any safety issues around thermal runaway, again, because we don't use cobalt, is all part of this consideration that you're talking about, is what do customers need? And each one is different, and that we have a portfolio of solutions that can meet whatever those power requirements are, including high voltage systems now that can scale up, as well as the voltage scaling up to several megawatt hours and up to 800 volts. So we have a complete suite of products.
And with BMS, that's battery management system, limitations that you're going to see in most lithium batteries, you're not going to see that with the limitations are different with SimpliPhi. Not as many limitations. I believe you can, I was told by one of your techs, up to 880 of these batteries can be wired in simple parallel. Is that, wow, that's amazing, Catherine.
Well, at the 48 volt level, the batteries are not the consideration or the constraint, if you will, when you start to scale up to hundreds of kilowatt hours at the 48 volt level. It's really what happens when you have multiple inverters that are stacked in a system. So it's one of the reasons that we introduced the high voltage solution. When you want to go up to 400 kilowatt hours or above, We have systems over 300 kilowatt hours at the 48 level that are in parallel. And some of these systems with our major inverter charge controller partners. But for systems 400 kilowatt hours and above, or even at 300 kilowatt hours, because the high voltage allows for a greater power output, the inverter, the kW can go up. The high voltage is a great solution for hundreds of kilowatt hours, or again, up to megawatt hours.
And you mentioned earlier 10,000 life cycles warranty, 10,000 life cycle warranty. That is a lot of years. I mean, it's a 20-plus year battery solution. That's phenomenal. Now, that said, at what depth of discharge percentage, how does that apply to that 10,000 life cycle warranty? What depth of discharge can people take it to qualify for that 10,000 life cycle warranty?
Yes. So at the 10,000 cycles, we offer an 80% depth of discharge, a two-hour charge and discharge rate with a 98% efficiency rate. And so it lowers significantly that levelized cost of energy, meaning how many megawatt hours are you going to get out of our batteries within the warranted 10-year period, but the batteries will last longer than that. Mm-hmm. So we hold to the 98% efficiency rate, the 10,000 cycles at 80% depth of discharge with an end of life, meaning at the 10-year warranty, our batteries have not lost more than 80% capacity. So these metrics are very important in terms of assessing the value of the storage solution, certainly up front. For our batteries, again, we don't require cooling or ventilation. There is no ancillary equipment at the point of installation that can add cost. And as you say, not oversizing the system, but over time as well. These metrics are very important. For 100% depth of discharge, we offer, at 100% depth of discharge, we offer 5,000 cycles, but with the same efficiency rate and all the other metrics. And this is where we get into some of our high-performance batteries that we developed for the U.S. Marine Corps and military, first and foremost in Afghanistan, Iraq, and really proving out that we can have a battery that can provide both energy, sort of longer duration, that 2-hour charge and discharge rate, but also batteries that can deliver a sustained peak load for 15, 20 minutes and have more power available for those kinds of peak loads. But also, the battery does offer the 5,000 cycles for a very long cycle life.
And by the way, 5,000 cycles, that's a very, very long time if you're doing one cycle per day. So, folks, it's the best bang for your buck. It's the best value. It's scalable. It's flexible. It gives you the best energy storage option on the market today. SimpliPhi, power. And real quick before we let you go, you mentioned Afghanistan. You mentioned the proving grounds for SimpliPhi. We're not just in a lab, but also as well out on the battlefield with our men and women serving us out there protecting our freedoms. And God bless America. I gotta give you the opportunity, because I know this is not just for the environment and not just for, I mean, those are all awesome, and not just for how great it performs, but also as well, you make this right here in the United States of America, don't you, Catherine?
Absolutely. We manufacture all our batteries and plug-and-play systems in our new facility in Oxnard. We just moved from our town of Ojai, where we founded in 2010, and we're now in Oxnard, California, to scale our manufacturing and meet our increasing global demand. So, yes, everything is manufactured in California.
Made in the USA. It still means something. It still means, hey, you know what? It's the best. It's the best. And you need to get it right now. BatterySystems.net. Find your nearest location nearest you and tell them you heard about SimpliPhi Power so that we can get started on your customized project today. God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the program, Catherine. How can our listeners get in touch with you and your team at SimpliPhi in the event that they'd like to ask more questions? Obviously, join us at batterysystems.net. Email me directly, solar@batterysystems.net. But how can they reach out to SimpliPhi directly as well?
Absolutely. On our website, which is SimpliPhi Power, SimpliPhi, for the golden mean phi, power.com. And we have different opportunities if you're looking for technical support or pre-sales support just to understand more of the value of our batteries. You can reach our applications engineer directly with their email or their direct phone lines on our website. Of course, our headquarters, we are a company that always picks up the phone, 805-640-6700, and our person, Claire, can route you in the right direction to get any type of technical or other type of support that we can provide.
Fantastic. Thanks for being on the program today, and we'll hope to have you back again, and looking forward to working with you very, very much so here in the future. Thanks for being on the All Things Energy Storage program. Catherine, God bless. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity and to celebrate the work you're doing and everybody out there that is looking and thinking about renewable energy storage and making an impact on people's lives and also the planet. And so it's a win-win, and I appreciate being on the show today.
Catherine von Burg from SimpliPhi Power, CEO and President, with us today on the program. An amazing day. We're learning so much, charging up our brains with all kinds of energy storage knowledge.